I started doing stuff in 1983 with these really cool people who knew how to put on gigs, they knew how to record sound, and they had a radio station, and they were 3BBB. And I went to several of their Cross Currents concerts, two of my mentors there, Dave Dallenberg and Patrick McCabe, and they were getting ready to get a licence ready to get a radio station on air, which was fantastic. My job was to sit on this beautiful 4-track reel-to-reel machine, which I've recently rebought, and record bands like this. This is Gary Bunn with Every Man and His Dog. So I got to do a whole lot of stuff with the radio station, and I was so inspired by these people who knew what they were doing. So I got involved with them, and I've still got all of these reel-to-reels with the sound on them. Here's from 1983, 107.9, you'll notice Triple B's frequency was. And here's me winning a 1987 Biggie Rat Award for, best new announcer or some rubbish. And Chris Morris from the Underminers is there on my left. Michael Gwyther, sorry, Michael, I had to crop him out. Triple B was a wonderful place, and it was a wonderland of analogue technology. We had analogue mixing desks, we had turntables, we had cassette decks, we had reel-to-reels, we had carts, and look at Matt Thomas there from the Mavises, he's playing with the boxing Tostados. And we worked out we could put music live on the radio. And how cool was that? So we went on to do about 126 live radio broadcasts, first from our studios, and then we would do it from venues like the Bridge Mall Inn. And here's the Wild Pumpkins at midnight going live. And on the other side there, that's Cuttlefish, the first Ballarat band to release a CD, and our giant banner. It's a bit on the big side, that banner, isn't it? But we really wanted to, and that's also a massive piece of white paper. Here's me behind the mixing desk at the Bridge Mall Inn with Dean Shannon and Neil Mack from a blues band here, and one of my beautiful mentors and the godfather of acoustic music here in Ballarat, Mr. Terry Byrne, rest his soul. There's also me with short hair and long hair at different parts of the Bridge Mall Inn era. It was a wonderful place to create and collaborate and get stuff going. We had this cool thing called Waterstock and Winterstock not long after that. So we were doing lots of broadcasts live on the radio, and then we decided, well, it'd be great to have our own festival. So we pinched a little bit of land on the side of Mount Bunningyong and ran about 7 Waterstock festivals, 20 bands for $20, and then we got a bit cocky and we did it during winter. Here's the 1994 version. There's a bus there we're selling beer out of. There's the stage. There's the hippies mired in mud. And once again, a beautiful thing, 20 bands for $20, and you could come and camp. So this is one of the first, really big, cool things that I was involved in. Waterstock then merged into Winterstock, and we took over the Provincial Hotel, and we had 4 massive rooms, 2 with bands, and the other 2 rooms were stand-up comedy and I think electronic music. If you have a look very carefully there, you can see Rove and Will Anderson were the stand-up comedians in our back room. But that was 22 bands for $22. Not long after that, we decided we were going to start streaming live on the internet in 1998. So here's a couple of things: Insect Girl, Immaculata, also Epicure and Plasticine and Zenith, Rocknet 99 we decided to call it. Our group was called Ratnet, and we were regional Australia's internet broadcasting pioneers. This is what our webpage looked like in 1998. There's an even better version with stars all over it. And we launched, did someone here say Ballarat, the very first compilation CD of Ballarat music, live on the internet in 1998. And we had people from America and Sweden, I think, watching. Here's some of us. We had a little host set upstairs doing interviews. Here's Len Hyatt and Patty O'Driscoll hosting the Ballarat Independent Music Awards. Here's our production team. And there's me hovering over a rack of brand new VHS machines, which we would play and record all the material. I then started working for SMB and then the Uni of Ballarat. We had a lighting and sound course, and the fellow who ran that, Jeff, said, why don't you do that Ratnet thing here with my students? So Tristan James is in our audience over there. He designed the very first Live and Lydiard poster in 2002, and we went on for 17 years to do it. It's Australia's longest running live music webcast, still to this day. Tash Sultana, who's sold out Rod Laver Arena. Here she is in Little Ballarat at the Courthouse Theatre with Charmer Finches and Paige Duggan. But we had a lovely time at Fed Uni, and eventually the university management actually acknowledged who we were and the fact that we were cool. And they gave us $100,000 worth of shiny new equipment. I see Jared Ferguson down there. He knows all about the shiny new equipment. One of my students created this as a surprise for me. What a legend. Brian, I think his name was, and did that in Illustrator. But that mixing desk is worth like $36,000 or something. We were the first uni course in Australia to own one. And all of the artists who came and played, the 5,000 artists that came and played at Live at Lydiard, all got photos and videos that they could use to go and push their careers and play in festivals and that kind of thing. I moved on from the uni in 2018 after all that amazing work. I created H2 Studios with my business partner Billy Honger from Michigan, USA, and we set up in the main bar and did, I think, 6 months of amazing gigs with this kit of equipment that we'd bought, and H2 Studios was born. We did about 6 months at the main bar before Glenn said, look, you got a lot of stuff up there, mate, and I'm closing for a few years. So I then went knocking on Trades Hall's door, and at their invitation, we got invited to do an activation project at Trades Hall. Recently, we've done 88 artists with Live Union Square and the Solo Lounge, recorded it, presented the shows, and once again gave musicians an incredible opportunity to have photos and video of their stuff. We're getting towards the end there. This is a 2018 retrospective that I did on Ballarat's BTV6 television, and we took over the Mechanics Institute for a whole weekend. We had tributes, we had little video screens running with 60s, 70s and 80s video material. And the irony is I've been sitting on a massive collection of Channel 6 stuff ready for a museum. And today, the original Channel 6 studios up in Walker Street went up for lease for $110,000 a year. So if any of you have got some ashtray change, come and hit me up and we'll start this amazing museum here in Ballarat celebrating analog culture. Thank you.